let's pick up with the last homework assignment, which was to place some code in a dummy module. And let's see. So if you place this code in a dummy module, what happens if the code is invoked directly, and what happens if this code is imported? Okay, and then the second thing was to create a second file and see what happens there. And actually, I think what we'll do is we'll just run these things. So let's start by, let me just pull up a screen. And let's see, this is, okay, so okay, so this dummymod.py contains our file, and we can sort of look at what happens when we run this from Python. We're going to interpret this code as we go along. So the first thing that happens is we generate the doc string. That does nothing. Then we set myvar to be inside plus this name here. Well, when we run Python on this, this is going to be set to __ main _. Then we define this routine here. Then we call the routine. So it will print out myvar is inside __ main _. Then finally, since we're running it from the command line, this statement will be true, and it's going to do it again. Okay, except for the second time, it's going to replace the value of myvar with test variable. So second time it's going to print myvar as test variable. So let's just try that. Let's see, it was dummymod.py. Okay, so it did exactly that. What happens if we run Python and we import it? Okay, well, the only difference is going to be that when we do it the second time, it's not going to run this code here. So we should, when we import it, we should just see that the first print statement. But something different is going to happen. It's going to not set __ name __ to be main. It's going to set it to the name of the module. So let's try that. So we see that it does it from, this time it's going to see, you're going to see myvar is inside plus dummymod. Okay. Now let's see. The other question was, oops, I don't want to do Kronos. I want to do this. The other question was here. If we create a second module, okay, and we import dummymod first, okay, it's going to do exactly what it did before because we've done, but then we override the value of myvar inside dummymod with the name of the current module. Okay, so now this value, this variable is now inside dummymod1. Okay, and that's if we import this. But if we run this, it's going to be inside main, and this routine will show us that variable. Okay, so if we that should have been if we run it directly from as dummymod1. So actually, let me just change that while I'm at it. Where is that? 1. And so let's try running that. So if we dummymod1 is just what I showed you before, And if we execute Python on dummy mod 1, when we do the first import, we see that we're inside dummy mod 1, but then myvar has been overridden, and when we ran this bit of code right here, it's changed it to this is underscore main. However, if we did the same thing by calling Python and import it, oops, I've got to spell it out. What's going to be different? Well, what's going to be different when we do this is now when we're importing it, the only difference is going to be this is going to be dummy mod 2. So there we go. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is considered nefarious or whether it's considered good pedagogy, but I wanted you to see how these variables work differently, how nested imports work, and so on. Questions on this? Yeah, Dennis. Where? Inside 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 which module? Inside the okay. Okay. Let's think about that. Okay. So you're asking why didn't I have to say dummy mod dot myvar there? Right? Yeah. That's that. Okay. So why? So let's think about what's going to happen inside right here. Okay. This code is running, in a sense, at the global level. It's not even inside a routine. It's just got an if statement there. So when this is being imported, inside as this code is being run, this is we're setting up a global variable at the at the module level. We're defining a routine, and then I guess there's two different places. So when we run this, it's just going to look for what the local value is. Within this routine, it is going to first look for a local variable called myvar. Okay, there is none. We haven't defined it first, so it's going to look at the next level out, which corresponds to that one right there. Okay, and it turns out there really is no way within a module to designate variables that are, at least that I'm aware of, that are within the scope of the module, because the module doesn't. I guess you could probably refer to it. Actually, I don't even know if that would be defined. I don't think you could get the name and say the name underscore myvar. I don't know if you could. You can definitely declare it as global. You can say this is a global variable and specify it specifically global. But really, in a sense, all the global does when you specify something as global inside a routine is you're saying, I'm going to make my first access of this be a define, and I still want it to be at the global level. If your first access to the variable is to read the variable, it's going to be done at the global level whether you specify it as global or not. So the only reason you need to use the global statement is to say, if I say global A and then I say A equals, I'm specifying specifically, even though I'm about to define A, define it at the global level. And from my perspective, it's a good idea to initialize all the global variables ahead of time at the global level before you get into the routines anyway, so that when you're looking at the code, it's very clear this module is going to use a global variable, myvar, even if it doesn't have to be initialized.